welcome to Game Soup. My name is Ed.
This is Joe.
This is Salt and Sanctuary. It is a 2D Dark Souls. Basically, if you've played Dark Souls, you pretty much know what to expect. Not that that's a bad thing. This game came out on Windows May 17th. It's been out on PS4 for some time, actually. Several months. Yeah. And I think, didn't you say you played it or downloaded it or something?
No, I haven't played it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, I've played it, and it's pretty good. I like it.
Ed's a big Dark Souls fan.
Oh, I am.
If you guys have seen Game Soup before, you know.
Dark Souls sucker. That. More like. Jump here.
I've played a little Bloodborne, that's about my experience, and a little Dark Souls, but I'm not near the fanatic that Ed is.
I don't really want to jump there because I think I'm going to die. That was a player message that somebody else left. Just like Dark Souls, you can leave messages in the overworld for people to discover, and sometimes they lie. Let's jump. Let's see what happens. Well, it did say jump. I wonder if it means jump across. Let's just... Ooh.
Yeah, he might be talking about this jump here.
All right, let's go here. So the game is $17.99 at retail price, but currently, because it just launched on PC, it is... Oh no, how am I going to get it back over here? It is 10% off. So go enjoy that. If you want to grab it, go ahead. It is by Ska Studios, which is a man-wife, so it's just two people, pretty much, development team, the core of their development team. And I will just read quickly from the Steam page. Salt and Sanctuary seamlessly combines fast, brutal, and complex 2D combat with richly developed RPG mechanics. There are 600 weapons, armor pieces, spells, and items, and lots of gothic, depressing, very atmospheric, Dark Souls-y areas. So if that's your thing, then you're going to like it a lot, I think.
Did you mention this is a review copy that we got from Ska Studios?
I did not mention that. Yeah, we actually contacted them, and they gave us a review copy. So, oh god.
So just some full disclosure there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Was it fall damage? Was that a lot of fall damage?
That was a lot of fall damage. Yeah, I didn't die though. Oh, but now I'm dead. Yeah.
Well, you know what we say about death here. We play a lot of Dark Souls. So,
obliterated.
So death appears quite a lot.
It sure does. I like how instead of saying you died, it says obliterated. It feels more violent that way, you know?
Does it always say obliterated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would be cool if they had a bunch of different ones, and there was rare ones that were really funny.
Like
flabbergasted.
Like go screw yourself. Or flabbergasted too. I like that.
Fooled. You were fooled.
Tricked by another player, perhaps. So this is a Sanctuary. In other words, actually, this is a Sanctuary. And it's a bonfire, basically, from Dark Souls. If you're familiar with that concept, it's where you level up, it's where you rest. But every time you rest, the enemies respawn. So it's kind of a give and take thing. You know, you might not want to rest if there are some really hard enemies nearby, but you might want to level up.
So these are like the crafters and stuff here, it looks like? Are they in every one of these points?
No, actually, one of the big differences that I've noticed so far is that when you first initially go to a sanctuary, there's nothing in it except for this pedestal where you can level up.
Right.
But all these NPCs, you have to spend these idols to get them to come. And you can see how finite they are. I only have one of most of them, and two of these two. For example, if I wanted to summon the blacksmith, he's already here. But I would have to use this.
So if you summon it, though, he's here permanently?
Yeah, he's here permanently.
Okay, so you can set up each checkpoint then with different...
You could, yeah, but you're going to run out before you can... I mean, I don't think you can have every NPC at every sanctuary, pretty much, you know? But let's see here.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was asking.
Yeah. So it's you really have to... You have limited options, and you have to figure out the best way to distribute the idols that you have for NPCs. So this is the cleric, I think. I think I can learn... Okay, so these are like healing spells. Revive ally. Removes poison. Okay, so I'm mostly just a melee class here. I have this giant halberd. Let's see what else. There is a traveling mechanic. This guy will teleport you to any other bonfire sanctuary that has I think another traveler in it. I kind of forget how it works. Let's see here. Stone guide. Oh yeah. Summon a guide at the sanctuary grants item find bonus. That's the other thing. All of these offerings, all these NPCs also have an innate bonus with them, which is kind of nice. So you can see all the waypoints or the sanctuaries that I can warp to from here.
Okay, so those are the points where you've put that guy down then. I'm guessing.
Does it look to be that way? See, the problem is there's just so much to talk about.
There's a lot of systems.
There's a lot of systems, yeah.
This is pretty unique though to this game.
Yeah.
The way you can summon each character to be at the checkpoints here.
Yeah.
Sanctuaries they're called, right?
Sanctuaries, yeah. There are also shrines, which are mini sanctuaries, which you cannot place NPCs in. All you get is just the pedestal to heal, and that's it.
And it's like a checkpoint, right?
It's just a checkpoint, yeah. So if you die, you'll spawn back there.
It's just a very basic bonfire.
Yeah. just a way to be like, hey, I don't want to retrace the last 20 minutes, so, you know, it's kind of like a save state sort of thing almost. So lots of destructible environments, and the world is huge. God, there's so much I want to talk about. The world is huge, and of course you've seen it's unforgiving, you're going to die a lot, but the combat is very, very similar to Dark Souls, just in 2D, which is kind of funny because Dark Souls is pretty much just a 3D Metroidvania. So if you try to make a 2D Dark Souls, you're just making a Metroidvania. It's kind of goofy. But there's a lot of new touches. Also, everything about the game is pretty obscure, like pretty obtuse, hard to figure out at times. Like you saw there with the Sanctuaries system, you're not really given much information except for the item descriptions. And actually, this is kind of cool. So I just got this ability recently.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, so I like how they take advantage
turned into
of
VVV,
yeah,
kind of a mechanic here.
Yeah, and the thing that I really liked was how they took advantage of the 2D world. You know, this is something that wouldn't work too well in 3D. I mean, you could do it, but you know, this is something exclusive to Metroidvanias. You can make it work really well.
It would make the control pretty awkward in a 3D game.
Yeah,
like how would you make that easy for the player to control?
Yeah.
In 3D and intuitive,
oh my God.
And in 2D, it's pretty easy to do.
And there are a bunch of those. That's called a brand. I just got the brand. There are, I think, 4 or 5 other ones, so they all have different effects. One lets you, I think, wall jump. So they seem to be related to just traditional platforming elements, ways that you can improve your character.
So can you always go on the ceiling now? Just is it an ability, or
no,
is it just this area that you can do it?
Let me see if I can jump back down here without dying. Oops. So that obelisk right there, this black obelisk, this is where I can enable it. So only here in this area.
Then you're allowed to disable it anytime you want?
If you look up here, that purple thing to my left, that little purple, and there's one up here too, right on top of me. That will disable it automatically.
Okay, so it's very controlled then, where you can use it.
Yeah, but it lets you access new areas and get new equipment.
It's just a little extra mechanic.
Yeah. But it seems like you have to choose. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but so far I've only seen one brand. I don't know if they're exclusive to each other, so you might not be able to get all of them. That's the thing with this game. There's so many layers, and there's so much to get, and so much content, and so many different options. I've really only used a couple of the weapons, a couple of the armor pieces. Oh god, he punched me. So it's really hard. It's ridiculously hard. Just, kind of like you would expect it to be. And those guys.
Yeah, I think anybody who's going to be getting into this one knows what they're getting into.
I think so, yeah. I think so. A lot of people have drawn comparisons to Dark Souls ever since this game was, shown and announced and shown.
Yeah, a lot of games compare themselves to Dark Souls nowadays, and most of them should not be doing so, but this game should be.
This game absolutely should. I don't think it's a secret that it was inspired by Dark Souls and they wanted to make a 2D version. And we covered Dark Mouse a couple months ago on this channel. That's more of a top-down thing. But all 3 of these games, Dark Souls, Assault and Sanctuary, and Dark Mouse, all have very similar mechanics in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you really liked that Dark Mouse game too, right?
Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it. So interesting thing, this set of candles here indicates that there is a boss close by, and the number of candles relative to the number of, so there are 1, 2, 3, 6 lit candles?
6 out of 9, it looks like.
That means that 6 out of 9 players will defeat this boss on the first encounter. On average, 6 out of every 9 players will win, and 3 out of every 9 will die the first time. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a warning. If this boss is really hard, to turn back and go to a sanctuary.
So that updates online then?
Yeah.
So when the game started, either all those candles were blank or they were all lit, I guess,
I would assume they were all blank at that point.
Right.
Because nobody had beat the boss yet.
So if the first guy beat the boss, all 9 would be lit then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's sort of a percentage.
And it does make some interesting uses of the online system. So one of the big differences is that there's no PvP. There's no, invade somebody else's world and destroy them. But there is local co-op, for one thing, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And you can use this ability here again. And also, as we already saw, you can leave messages.
Cool.
You can leave messages for other characters. I can't get up there.
Yeah, one thing that's... I'm familiar with the company, with Ska Studios, and I've played some of their other games. One thing that's always impressed me is the scope of the games, what they're able to accomplish, even though they're only 2 people. Mm-hmm. And, this game looks like it's possible. I haven't played as much as you have, but it looks like it's possibly the biggest in scope of anything that they've done with all the online the online features and just how big the world is.
Yeah, the world already feels gigantic. I looked at a world map that didn't show any of the areas specifically, but just an overview of how they link together. The world map is huge. I think this is like the 4th or 5th area maybe out of 20, more than 20. It's a gigantic game. And the pacing is really, I like it a lot. There are bosses, like, not constantly, but very frequently. So the areas aren't too big. They don't wear out their welcome. They have all sorts of interesting gimmicks. And then you fight a boss.
I also have to say the artwork it's better than the older Ska Studios games.
Ah.
I think that the artist has improved.
Well, one of the things that I do like the art style a lot, but something that I've never been able to shake is the characters, the character faces. And I would assume that some people have also expressed that same idea. Kill the village. All right, we're gonna kill the village. But like their default faces, I mean, you can see my main character right here.
They're pretty basic.
I don't know, like I don't love the design of the face.
They're like lizardish or
yeah,
or like
they're kind of weird.
Squashed down.
Yeah, they're kind of weird looking.
That's a style that's kind of gone through all the Ska Studios games. I think that's just like
okay.
the artist just draws faces kind of like that.
So, but I mean, I'm not one for letting the character designs get in my way, or really art get in my way if I don't love it. Yeah,
I played a little bit of. I think it was their first game. It was the Dishwasher Samurai, and that was pretty cool. But the one I played the most was Charlie Murder, which was a brawler, and they did a really good job on that one. Like, it was at a time when there wasn't that many brawlers, but a few brawlers I think came out that year. I played it for the 360, and I beat the game twice, and I was just really impressed with how long it was and how interesting it stayed throughout the game. And just how solid that the gameplay was.
I'm gonna go ahead and just try a different weapon because I haven't tried all of them. How about we don't have any great swords? Maybe not. Let's try a bullwhip. Sounds good. Sounds nice and effective. All right.
But yeah, brawlers are, I guess, more my type of game, and
yeah.
and a Dark Souls kind of game is more Ed's type of game. Although Metroidvanias are both is a genre that we both share as a favorite. So this is,
who doesn't love those,
This is something that we would probably both like.
Oh god, it's so weak. So I've been upgrading that halberd, so it's pretty strong, but this has no upgrades. So it takes a bunch of hits to kill these guys. Oh yeah, I just wanted to touch on the experience and currency systems. So you know how in Dark Souls, your souls are not only your way to level up, but also your money, essentially. You spend souls to get new equipment, and to level up. In this game, you actually have two different currencies. One is salt, which is used exclusively for leveling up and things related to leveling up. For example, if you have sin by killing an NPC, you can spend salt to get rid of that. But most of the equipment is going to be bought with gold. So that really means you're juggling two different currencies, which actually is not... I actually really like the system. Every time you die, you lose 10% of your gold permanently. There's no way to get it back. So there's always a punishment for dying, and of course, you lose your salt, but you have a chance to get it back.
So you kind of want to just spend your money.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite of what you usually do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For me, that wouldn't be a problem. I would have pretty much 0 gold at all times.
And for the first couple hours, I definitely was low on gold. Oh, this guy looks really hard.
Is that a boss?
No, I think it's like a mini, just like a super hard regular enemy. There are some enemies that don't respawn once you kill them, just like souls actually. But you can just kind of tell by the way they look. Oh wait, can I get back up here? Yes. Oh, okay. Okay. So I do like that you can jump, just like any Metroidvania. You have a lot of freedom with jumping.
Yeah, that's something that this has. You have a lot more. You have a lot higher higher jumping than you would in Dark Souls. But I think that's probably to make up for the fact that you can't move in 3D space.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course you lose a lot. A lot of depth, obviously, when you lose 3D. You lose a lot of different elements that you could have.
Right.
So in a way, you're kind of shrinking the set of different things that you can do. But at the same time, you can jump and do all sorts of crazy 2D platforming things.
If you do 2D top down, you can move in 3D space, but you don't really have the vertical part of 3D space. The jumping isn't going to be as well represented. I guess it's harder to represent if you're just looking at a straight top-down angle. But I guess the best of both worlds maybe would be like an isometric angle, like a Super Mario RPG or something. That works pretty well for platforming, jumping, and moving in a 3D space.
So hey, game devs, there's already been a top-down Dark Souls, a 3D Dark Souls, and now a 2D Dark Souls. Why don't you go ahead and make that isometric Dark Souls, and it'll be huge. It'll be huge.
I'm not saying that's the best way to go about making a game. I'm not saying isometric games are strictly better than other games.
I do love them though. There are a few games that look exactly like Mario RPG. You know, I mean for multiple reasons, but
Diablo 3, there's another.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And the whole Diablo series.
Yeah,
it's another example of a great.
But like all hack and slashes are pretty much isometric. Oh, here's
for the most part.
Yeah, here's a shrine, by the way.
Style of games.
This is what a shrine looks like. There's nothing else in here, so this is just a checkpoint. Yeah, I would like it to see another RPG in an isometric view like that, especially one that has such a dark tone as Dark Souls. So it's uncovered ground. So people, get on it.
One. No, that's two. Those are two.
2 out of 9, I guess. All right, this is actually a boss that I already fought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were you one of the 2 out of 9?
No, I did not beat this boss on my. I think it took me at least 3 or 4 tries. Wait, what is that? Is that it's a bottle? Let's read it. Dread.
That's kind of interesting that the developers are getting this feedback too, so they know how difficult they're making the bosses.
Yeah.
And where they specifically want to aim for. If they want to aim for maybe a third of the players being able to beat it on the first try, then they've got that feedback there, and they could have put that in the code and kept it to themselves, but they decided to utilize it as a pretty cool and unique mechanic. I've never seen anything quite like that in any other game. Maybe it exists, but
yeah, I don't know. Seen it. I think it's really nice how, I mean, of course this game is super heavily inspired by Dark Souls, but at the same time they have plenty of their own mechanics that go above and beyond that traditional formula. So there's a lot of new things, and none of it feels too unfamiliar. You really get used to it quickly, which I like. I think it's done fairly well. All the concepts sort of travel over to 2D pretty well. They translate well. Aha. So, oh yeah, also you can fall through, which is nice for a platformer, right? You kind of need that. However, that does bring me to, I'm gonna take my jacket off. It's like 1,000 degrees in here.
Yeah, it's getting kind of warm.
Yeah. It's because Joey and I are so hot, right, Joe?
Oh, okay.
One of the things that has bugged me about this game several times and has caused several deaths is the sensitivity with which you fall through platforms. So, here's another Sanctuary. So, for example, if you're trying to drop through, you hold down the analog stick and you press the A button, which is the jump button, and you fall.
Yeah.
But say you're on a platform that has a bottomless pit underneath, and you don't want to fall through. So you might accidentally trigger the fall through, and you would fall to your death, even if you didn't want that to happen. It seems like the fall through is pretty sensitive.
Can we see like an example, or would you be able to show it, like here?
Yeah. Let's see.
I don't know if it's going to be that easy for anybody to tell though, because they can't really see what you're doing on the controller. It's kind of, I guess that's more of an issue that you have to feel playing the game.
Yeah,
it's more of a feeling issue. So maybe you can't show it.
I kind of imagined it as like a quarter of a circle, but sort of placed at a not a 90-degree angle, but like it feels like the window for falling through is very wide on the controller, on the analog stick.
Oh, so if you're okay, I get it. So if you're holding like down toward, if you're holding in like the 3 position as like a fighting game player would say, then you might fall through. Whereas you would rather it be centered more on the 2 position, meaning down, instead of like down forward or down away. Yeah.
So there's been times that I'm jumping to a platform that also has a bottomless pit, and I'll just jump to my death because I'll fall through the platform instead of jumping. So, and maybe that can be changed in the options menu. I don't believe so. But just the default jump through it's very sensitive. So you have to get used to, I've started to train myself to hold up and right when I'm jumping on platforms.
Does the game have analog control?
It does, yeah.
Okay, it does. So you're benefited by using the analog stick.
And in fact,
so you kind of want to.
Yeah, in fact, you can't actually use the D-pad as a default. That's more for switching weapons here.
Oh, okay. I see.
And there's a torch system.
So you're definitely going to be using the analog stick.
Yeah, and you can rebind controls. So there is that. Yeah. If you really want to play with the D-pad, you probably could. I don't know if I'd recommend it.
But you might also end up pressing down forward at some point.
Yeah.
Even with the D-pad.
Yeah. So you really have to be adamant about holding left or right, and always tilt a little bit upward, because there was an area just before this. I think it was called, what was it called? Ooh, it wasn't Bandit's Pass. There was an area where it was basically the entire area was up in the air, and the entire area was a bottomless pit. And you can imagine how many times I died with these enemies charged. Oh my god. there are enemies charging me, and I'm just accidentally jumping through, falling through.
Have you seen this yet?
I have not. This is a new area for me.
Cool.
This is where I am in the game. Okay, I'm gonna die.
This boss looks totally rad.
I don't think it's a boss. I think it's just a mini boss.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So combat. You can roll. You have your stamina bar, which is kind of expected. You know, that's traditional Souls at this point. Okay. I like that your stamina bar recharges really, really quickly in this game compared to Dark Souls. So I feel like that's probably a nice balance change that they made.
Makes the combat a little bit faster.
Yeah.
The combat already looks a little bit faster, but
Yeah.
anytime 2D games are generally just going to be faster than 3D games.
Yeah.
There's less axes to keep track of.
Yeah, I think that's the case here. I think
that's always been true for pretty much every genre of games.
So I think everything here pretty much happens faster. For example, there was an enemy that poisons you, and it poisoned me, and before I even got into my menu to use an antidote, I was dead from full health. So poison will kill you in 3 seconds if you don't bind an antidote to your hotbar. So everything in this game happens a lot faster than you might be used to if you're coming to this from the Soul series. A lot of stuff to watch out for. So this game is going to be constantly surprising you. I know it has surprised me constantly.
How do you get these guys?
Yeah, I don't know.
Flying enemies.
Yeah.
Annoying in 2D and 3D.
Yeah, at least they don't have sign behavior, right? Could be worse. Okay, no.
Yeah, just tracking behavior, and then they fly away from you sometimes.
Yeah. So at least you can roll behind guys. I like that. It encourages you to stay close, but not too close, or else that happens, you know. And just like any good Souls game, the best way to win is to study strategies and learn enemy patterns. I want to kill this guy. I really want to kill him. Let's see. Oh, we have like a fire pot here we can throw at him.
Oh, when I called this boss Totally Rad, I was making a reference to an old NES game called Totally Rad. I thought I wanted to point that out because probably no one understood the reference. But in Totally Rad, there was a lot of large enemies that looked like this guy.
Oh, uh-oh. I'm gonna die actually because I'm dead.
Cool.
That's why.
Sorry about that. Well, I think you're pretty good at the game.
Oh, thanks.
Looks like you're doing pretty well.
It also gives you stats, so
as far as a difficult game like this.
Yeah. I mean, I've got hundreds of hours of prior Souls experience, but it hasn't done as much good as I thought it would.
And you have several hours of experience in this game as well.
This game, yeah. One other thing that I wanted to talk about, which is it's a very obtuse system. Dark Souls is also very obtuse. It doesn't explain anything particularly well. This game has creeds, which are sort of like covenants or different religions, and there are a bunch of them. I think between 7 and 9 of them. And you can see here that I actually can't summon an NPC to this sanctuary because it is of a creed that I am not a part of. So my creed is called the 3. You can see on the menu there. This is a different covenant, a different creed. So I can't have any NPCs here except for this guy, who just tells me to join. And actually, I can't even join.
So there's 3 different ones?
No, I think there are 9 different creeds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So some of the sanctuaries are only for a certain creed?
Yeah. A lot of the sanctuaries have their own innate creeds already in them. Some of them are unfounded. For example, the first time you go there, you can choose to establish the sanctuary as the 3, which is what I belong to, you know? And they each give you different benefits. You can, by furthering your devotion, which just means give them loot from enemy drops. They give you items, and they all have their own, their benefits.
So there's a lot of systems in this game.
It's an incredible amount of systems, especially for a 2D game. Okay, I'm gonna die. I want to get back to that castle.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay.
This isn't looking good.
No, it never does.
That axe throwing guy up there's a real asshole.
Yeah, I know. It really is. I guess rolling works. There we go. So the creed system is not explained.
You should leave a message back there. Try rolling. That's what I did when I was playing Bloodborne. I put try rolling.
How do I do it? Yeah.
Everywhere.
Actually, you know what I did?
That was my tip for everything.
My first couple minutes in this game, I found an area and I typed try jumping, because that's one of like the most famous things you say in Dark Souls is people will say try jumping right over a cliff, and you're like, oh, what is it? And then you fall and die, you know. But let's see what we can say here. What do you want to say?
Wounding Wraith.
Let's say wonderful.
Wonderful Dread.
Wonderful Dread. And
Wonderful Dread rolling.
We can give it a symbol. Wonderful Dread?
There you go. Yeah, that's perfect.
So now anybody who gets past that point will share my feelings. My very clear feelings. So yeah, and up here in the top left corner, your HUD, you also have the quick slots. So pretty much everything from Souls in terms of the HUD is here in some form or another. Here we go. Back in the Castle of Storms. Now I'm sure there's a sanctuary fairly close to here. I think we're just gonna skip this guy this time. Just so we can see if we can find a sanctuary. There's tons of stuff to break, which I really like. I like just breaking stuff. Oh, okay, see, that was an example of fall through that I didn't intend to happen.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying.
Yeah, that was kind of obnoxious.
So that would be your most major critique of the game?
So far, yeah, which is not a huge problem because it's easily fixable, you know? It's not like it's so ingrained within one of the mechanics of the game that it's broken entirely, but...
Yeah, so far we've had mostly nice things to say about the game, but that does seem to be frustrating, and we just caught an example of that happening off guard.
Yeah, it's not caught. It's happened so many times. A lot of my deaths have happened because of that. And it's a little frustrating. But
Try rolling.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Wonderful Dread.
Wonderful Dread. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do feel a little frustrated when I die, but this is crap. This is kind of a fun to play anyway. It's a joy to play just running through and killing guys. You know, you can never relax, or that'll happen. I'll die, just like I just did. So even though you're backtracking a lot, it's not particularly... It doesn't get tedious, at least so far. I mean, I haven't completed the game yet.
Yeah, I've been thinking about systems in games a lot lately, and how there's a lot of modern games have a lot of systems, and I'm not so sure that that having a lot of systems always adds as much depth to the game.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Sometimes it makes the games more complicated rather than adding to the experience.
Yeah,
it's more of a detriment. I think when you can combine resources in a game, if you have too many currencies, it gets too confusing for the player to keep track of everything, or too many item types, or the crafting system has too many items and it becomes too obtuse, or it's difficult to figure out.
Sounds like Warframe.
Yeah. Warframe is a prime example of a game that has way too many systems and is overly complicated. And this game looks like it might border on that, but I can't judge for sure because I haven't played it at all, really. I've only just seen what you've been doing so far.
Yeah, well, I think one of the main differences is that this is not overwhelming. It's very subtle with everything it does.
Yeah.
So like I said, it doesn't explain those creeds to you at all. So if you want to look it up online and try to figure it out, you can. But otherwise, you're just going to choose whatever looks good to you and play through that way. So it's not overloading you with information and systems. Everything is there for you to discover, but it's not going to throw much in your face.
Right.
So that's kind of a big difference. And in terms of understanding the game, it makes a huge difference. You know,
yeah, I'm the kind of guy that likes to be told how all the systems in a game work, very, very openly, very...
Same.
What do you call it? There's a really easy word
explicitly?
for this. Yeah, explicitly. I like for everything to be explicit,
right.
either in words or just showing the player. Showing the player is even better, but it's harder to do for the developer.
Yeah.
But I just like everything to be explained to me, and I like for the challenge in the game to come in learning the combat mechanics, or whatever the mechanics of the game, well, whatever they are, and just mastering the control and the gameplay of it. Like, for instance, in this, just mastering when to roll and when to attack and what weapon to use in which situation, things like that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of gameplay that interests me more than trying to figure out how crafting systems work, or which creed I should join, and things like that. And if all the creeds are well balanced enough, I usually trust that the developer has done some testing and has had some people play test the game and figure out the balancing issues and have it as balanced as they possibly can. So I usually just try to trust the developers and go with, like, for instance, for classes or creeds or whatever kind of branches you can do as far as leveling your character up go. I usually just pick whatever sounds good and hope that it's balanced and that I didn't screw myself over by picking something weaker.
I feel like in games like this, it's pretty hard to screw yourself over in general. I mean...
Yeah, you would hope that... I mean, with more systems and making a game more... oh, there's another one. Cool.
Okay, and these guys?
With more systems and more complicated... with more complicated systems, more systems in general, and
Uh-oh. They chase you indefinitely? No.
Thank God.
All right. Oh, good. They're back.
But with more systems just comes more balancing in the development. So
Yeah.
the simpler that you keep the game, the easier it is to keep the balance of the game. And with a game that's as huge as this and with as many different options for the player
Yeah.
as it has, you just hope that they did a lot of playtesting and balancing.
I would like a Sanctuary right about now.
Yeah, that would be really nice. There's been 2 of those big rad guys. Oh, good, 3.
I wonder if...
This is brutal.
Yeah.
Is this telling you maybe you're not supposed to be here yet?
I think I am supposed to be here. I think it's telling me that I should work on defeating those guys, which is
Yeah.
totally fine by me. Also, you can see that that's a trap there. There are tons of traps in this game. So this is just one. If I step on this pad here, there's that little zapper.
Could you use that on the enemies too, or is that just for you?
I don't know. There are a few traps earlier in the game, such as like if you step on a pressure plate. These guys are destroying me. There's a pressure plate that if you step on it, it will shoot a crossbow at you.
Uh-oh. You're getting killed.
I'm getting killed by these little guys, but I can't. Oh my god, they're kind of hard to hit.
Is there somebody throwing flaming axes down there?
Oh,
too?
probably yes.
Yeah, that sounds...
Probably. This is sort of a bad choice of weapon for these guys, particularly. You know, it would be nice if I had something that covered a lot of ground rather than just like a pokey.
If you had like a big greatsword or something that had like a downswing.
Yeah.
That's what I like to use in the Castlevania games for flying enemies, because you get a big arc that covers like a whole 90 degree quadrant. I don't know how you say that.
Yeah. And there's a huge variety of weapons. So this is just my choice. Mace, haymaker. Actually, that might not be bad. Iron pot. I like that. There's a class called the chef in this game.
Yeah, your guy kind of looks like a chef. He's got kind of a chef hat.
I'm dressed in chef clothing right now.
Oh, okay.
It gave good poison resistance to a boss, and I just never took it off. Let me try the iron pot. See, like something like that has a big
that
arc.
looks good.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. That looks faster though than a greatsword kind of weapon.
Oh yeah. Also, I didn't even mention this. You can block. You can have a two-hand setup with blocking and a weapon, or you can just two-hand one thing, and also you can parry, just like that, which is kind of nice. And I haven't done it because I'm really terrible at parrying. I assume it's very similar to Dark Souls style parrying. But I have nothing to say on that yet because I haven't done it, because I'm terrible. I'm terrible at, I don't know, timing things, I guess.
Yeah, I've never been really that great at parrying in games, but there was one game where Swordman hurt with...
All right, if you insist.
So, well, you have poison resist clothes on, right?
I do, yeah. Is this... I can't get up there.
There was one game, the Afro Samurai game for Xbox 360. I played a shit ton of that game. And that game had a parrying system that made me stop playing the game for 3 months.
Whoa.
And then when I realized that, when I discovered the timing, I found out how fun that the parrying system in the game was, and that was pretty much all I did in that game. So that's pretty much the only example of a game I can remember that I parried a lot. And Street Fighter 3, I guess. You kind of had to in that, though.
Oh, that's a little bit different, I guess.
Mechanic. It's a fighting game, but yeah, Afro Samurai was a fun game.
Yeah, I never played that one, but I have seen it on your shelf. You own it, right? Like a box copy version? Yeah. Okay. Oh god. So another part of the challenge. What is this?
I think I beat that one on the hardest difficulty too. I got pretty good at it, but I haven't played it in a long time.
There's just too many good games to play.
Yeah, it's gotten overwhelming. I'm never going to be able to play all the great games that come out now.
Yeah. That even happened here on the channel. We had a little bit of a lull, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
Because before that, it was just one thing after another. Boom, boom, boom. Games to check out.
And then we were getting contacted by developers, and we were contacting developers, and we got a lot of review copies, and we had a lot of games to play, and a lot of games that we just wanted to play. And there were some classic games we wanted to do, so there was a lot going on. And then it slowed down a little bit, and then I had the bright idea to check out Steam, which I hadn't done in about a month and a half.
It's always a mistake.
For new games, and I contacted a bunch of companies, and we got some review copies. And actually, Ed contacted Ska Studios about this one, but the rest of the games that we're going to be covering coming up, I contacted, and we got some pretty great games coming up to show you guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would like to say that I was looking forward to this game ever since I first heard it. I guess, I don't know, years, I assume. Whenever it was first previewed, I was looking forward to it, and when it... Oh god, I'm gonna die.
Okay.
When I learned it was only coming out on PS4, for a while, I was pretty sad. But I'm glad that I survived this long to experience it on PC.
Yeah, maybe
You know?
PS4 just because Bloodborne was PS4 exclusive.
Maybe, yeah.
At first, yeah.
And, oh, there we go. 1,200 salt! That's a lot. That's a lot.
You don't want to lose that, man.
No, I don't. Well, even though I've already lost more than that.
Sanctuary, man.
Yeah, where's the sanctuary at? Take me there. Oh, great. It's a locked gate. GG.
You just fought that big guy and killed him, and now it's just a locked gate
For nothing!
for your prize.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be cool if you could wall jump, too.
Yeah, well, actually, there is a wall jumping brand, but I don't have it. So maybe, maybe, if you had that, you could get through here. I don't know. Where was that?
I like wall jumping. I like wall jumping and air dashing. I think those are some of the cooler control mechanics in games.
Oh, this is the guy that killed me. Oh yeah, so one more thing, which I didn't talk about at all, that's different than Souls is, oh, I'm gonna die. If you die to an enemy like this guy, like I did last time, see how he's sort of glowing at this point?
Yeah.
If we kill him, we will recover all our lost souls. So it's not like you have a bloodstain that just sits on the overworld. Here, if an enemy kills you, your souls are in that enemy, and you have to kill the enemy to get... What just happened? Did you see that? Okay, so he has a teleporting attack. Huh. This is a hard game. Did you get that yet?
I'm learning it.
It's pretty tough. Pretty tough. Let's see. What else can I do here? Oh yeah. Also, the item descriptions, they're full of lore. There's tons of lore. If you really want to read it. And something else that is amazing that I want to show you is when you level up, you don't just choose a stat to increase. Instead, you go to the Tree of Skill. I like how it's called the Tree of Skill and not the Skill Tree. But this is the Tree of Skill, and if I zoom out here, you can see...
Oh boy.
It's huge. It is huge. This doesn't even cover the whole thing.
Can you read all this stuff? And
every single node has its own lore text. So if you love lore, this is the place to go. It's very, very extensive. So, you know, basically like a lot of trees work, this is sort of each section is dedicated to a different style of play. There's the magic section, the dex section, the strength section.
Which section are you a member of?
Let's see, I'm working up here towards... I started working with polearms, because that's what I have now, that halberd. So I'm moving up here, and I can get... Oh, actually, I can level up. I can get 1 point of strength. I can get another point of strength. Let's see here. Endurance. Okay, so endurance determines equipment load. That's basically souls. Stamina is also basically souls. You know, every attack, everything you do, including jumping, spends some amount of stamina, and it recharges very, very quickly in this game. I wonder if I have low health. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something. And there's also a node for each type of weapon. So there are 5 different classes of each type of weapon. So you can do hammers class 1, hammers class 2, and so on. And I think what's a little different about this game is that class 5 weapons are, I think, objectively better than the ones that come before them. You know, so whereas Dark Souls, you can really upgrade any weapon to be viable, this has a more structured, I would say, approach to equipment. But that's just what I've heard through the grapevine, so to speak, because I haven't gotten that far. So take it with a grain of salt. But I was working towards getting this extra potion, because I seem to be dying a lot. Let's go ahead and get Fortified Strength.
Yeah, they really hide that one. You gotta go through a loop-de-loop.
Yeah.
To get that one.
So you can already see, if you want to maximize your efficiency on a skill tree, that's just one more thing you have to really study and understand, and you might want to look up builds or something. There's a lot to take in.
Yeah, that's something I don't know if I would look up a build. That's something I might just pick what looks interesting and hope it's balanced, like we were talking about before.
Yeah, and I think that's a fine approach. I don't think you're going to be missing out very much on anything if you don't look up a build, you know. Okay, I'm going to run away.
That's usually how I approach a game until I get to the end game. I don't get too anal retentive about character builds and stuff until I get to the end game, and if I'm still interested in the game, then maybe I'll look up builds to try and stay competitive, whether it's PvE or a PvP game, either way.
Let's see what I'm gonna do here. I'm going to warp to one of our sanctuaries that has our NPCs in it, so that we can do some upgrading here. Let's go back to the Sunken Keep.
I guess a good example is Hearthstone.
Yeah, that's where you want to.
First playing it, you're kind of just make decks that look fun, and you just start throwing cards on the board, and see what happens, and then after you build a collection, you start looking up the decks, or at least a lot of people do. I know I do.
Let's see here. So you'll notice that all the weapons have scaling, just like souls, which is kind of nice. That means depending on how your stats are distributed, you might do better with the weapon. So for example, the pitchfork, I'm surprised it has S scaling in both categories. That's also a spear though. I want to go for something that's not a spear, like
So the higher the scaling rank, then the better it scales.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so the higher the rank, you know, goes, the top is S, and then it goes all the way down to what, D, E, I guess. Yeah. And then so if it's a S scaling, if you have 50 strength, you'll get a lot of benefit. If it's an E scaling, your strength will not give you as much attack power as if it were an S. So it just gives you a little bit of extra damage. Let's see. Let's do the. Oh, that has terrible scaling. Terrible scaling.
So you have a high strength, I guess, on your build.
I think I kind of try to keep it even. I'll check because it's been a while since I checked that. So maybe we'll try this sword out. This looks kind of nice. Let's see here. So my stats are. So yeah, I'm high strength, moderate dex, I guess, and willpower because I'm a fan of that.
And low magic.
Yeah, I'm never a magic user in these types of games. All right, so we can't afford another upgrade. We don't want to do that. Need a hand. I can travel with this guy. He can take me to... Man, I wish I'd found that sanctuary inside that castle. Bummer.
There does seem to be like those three archetype characters.
Yeah.
Like the warrior type of character who's strong, and there's the fast rogue type of character, and the mage. Oh no, what's going on?
This is where the platforms fall away and you have to wait for them to respawn, which is nice.
Okay.
I'm glad that they respawn. Like, you're not forced to quit and start over. Like, save and quit and restart the game.
Put a note there that says chill for a minute.
Chill for a minute, yeah. But I think by this point I've shown all the mechanics that A, that I'm aware of, and B, that I wanted to show. I think we've shown most of the game. The game it's connected like the original Dark Souls 1 was, so we've already seen tons of gates and shortcuts to other areas. Okay. The entire world is pretty much designed that way. Oh crap.
That's how we started the episode.
Yeah, I know. So, but I think by this point you have a feel for it already. So, yeah, I love that. I just love dying over and over. If you love dying and you love challenges, you're not going to be disappointed. There's so much to discover. I mean, it's just like Souls. There's so much to discover, but here it's in its own unique flavor, so to speak. And there's a lot to figure out. If you love lore, there's tons of lore. And it's a huge challenge. I can't even imagine how many hours I'm going to get out of it. Probably a lot, I'm guessing. I'm going to keep playing it and see how far I can get.
I mean, you just started playing it with this past week, right?
Yeah. I really like the combat a lot. For some reason, 2D Souls, I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of being able to jump around freely and eventually, hopefully, double jump. And just the way that combat works in 2D. You are limited because, your enemy's either going to be in front of you or behind you, and you can only roll in front of him or behind him, or away, So you do have fewer options in combat. But, as we said earlier, there's a lot of things that you can't do in 3D you can do in 2D very well. So I think that sort of balances it out. Let's see. Anything else I wanted to mention? I mentioned that fall through issue. There was a bug that I experienced. Devs, if you're watching this, whoa. I don't know what that was.
How did you do that one?
I have no idea.
So you turned around quickly and was that it? Did you press away toward?
It's attack and then up and attack.
Oh, okay.
So apparently this game has combos that I didn't know about. Wow. Huh. There's so much hidden about this game that I just have not discovered yet. Anyway, there was a bug which I encountered where I was killed by an enemy's poison breath. And when I died to his poison breath, instead of saying, "This enemy killed you," it said, "Your salt was stolen by a simple sack." Joe, what's a simple sack?
I don't know.
It sounds like a bag, like a burlap sack, right?
Yeah.
I tried to Google the bug. What should have happened is that enemy should have held it so that I could go find him and kill him next time. But instead, my salt was just gone forever. I don't know what a simple sack is. I know that I didn't get killed by a simple sack. So, I don't know what the deal was, but that was just one small thing. I haven't really encountered any other issues other than the fall through issue, which I've already talked about at length. I mean, I don't have any super harsh criticisms of it aside from those few things. I like the, oh, you get this bestiary, which is kind of nice.
Some lore.
Yeah, there's tons to read about. I like that. It shows you killed by and kills up there in the corner with the icons.
Oh, so how many times you've died to that monster? This guy looks cool.
So this is actually a boss that I just fought before we started this episode. You can see I died to him once, and then I killed him once. And there also is a New Game Plus mode. God, there's just so much to talk about. So anyway, I think you get the point. I think now's a good time to call it because you've seen pretty much everything that I've seen. And hopefully I've explained it in some competence to you. So this is Salt and Sanctuary. It's available now. It's currently on sale. Go ahead and grab it on Steam. Thanks for watching Game 2.